Little Nitro.
Stacked.
If James lost, he'd have to eat a dub.
I'm not doing that. Did you see that clip of Deion Sanders?
You don't call Nick Saban Nick. Don't call me Deion.
Let me put some respect on his name. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the show. How's everybody doing? Shout out to S. Sanchez there. Producer James is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the DF Dub, rocking that 70s solid country gold. Wes, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Doing good. You know, surviving this heat.
Man, you ain't lying.
You know, it's dude, it's something else, man. Especially when you walk those parking lots and that the sun rays coming off of that pavement. Whew, it's a motherfucker.
It is. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It sounds like there's no reprieve. There's no reprieve in the near future, but we do have some Hard Knocks. This debuts tonight. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to look into that. The Manziel doc came out. Swamp Kings is coming out soon. There's a lot of things going on. We had a big UFC, big boxing match between Nate Diaz and Jake Paul this past weekend, which was kind of ironic and funny, in my opinion. We'll probably talk about that a little bit more a little bit later when we get off the rails. We know Wes is a big fan of, celebrity boxing. Not really.
Not
really.
With the Jake Paul thing, dude, it just doesn't seem like it's a real thing.
What did you call him? What did you call him in the group chat, Wes?
I called him a fake boxer, didn't I?
Nah, you call him the White Don King. Call him the White Don King.
Oh yeah, he's the White Don King.
It's pretty true. It's pretty true.
It's all, yeah, and I don't trust anything that's going on about it. Yeah, you know what? More power to him. He actually just has a documentary. I don't know how long it's been out on Netflix. You know, it's untold, just like the Johnny Manziel. Hey, mad props to him and his brother, the way they made money or whatever. But would I ever buy one of those events?
No, I'm not buying it either. I will say this: if Alex Pereira fights Jake Paul, then I might buy that one. That's about it, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm just saying.
I bought the drink. I bought the prime drink. You know, prime drinks are bad.
I don't want to have any chest pain if I drink that. Just saying, allegedly. I don't want to have it. You know, want everything to be nice and copacetic. Getting into it, ladies and gentlemen, football season is upon us. I think we're about 30 days away from NFL kick, and we're about 21 days, maybe 18. 26th is kickoff for the college football. 26 West.
It's 18 for college.
It's 18, right? Okay, 18. Thank you. 18 for college. The big weekend is week 1, week 0. Not too many big matchups, but it'll be something to be on the television. That'll be the week before my travels up north to Beyond the Wall. For some of y'all may get that. For most of y'all, you probably don't. It's all right. Wes, what are we looking forward to, man? We're not really excited for the preseason games. I get it, but at the same time, people are talking about football. Football's on TV. We're gonna have college sports before we know it. Let me say it like this. I'm gonna be taking it for granted as soon as it comes on the 26th. I'll take it for granted. I'll have 2 or 3 games on. I'll probably have one on my phone, so about 4 games maybe on, 2 on the TV, 1 on the computer, 1 on my phone. And I'll still be just like, well, it's a game. I'll watch it later. I'll put it on the DVR. I'll save it then. But for you, why is it when we wait so long for football to come back, and then when it's time to watch, we're just like, oh, we'll take it for granted, put it away, and dismiss it almost.
Well, it really is about the games that matter.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and that's the problem with the other sports. It's that, like, really, basketball, you have a lot of games, and so a lot of games don't really matter that much. You know, that's why people say, oh, I'll just wait till playoffs. For baseball, there's so many games that people are like, oh, well, these games really matter. So, people say, oh, I'll just wait for the playoffs. But with, I think, college football and with football, pretty much every game kind of matters. Now, every game might not be as interesting. You know, you got your non-conference matchups where they're not that great of games, but yet still, they can matter, man. And you can see that. You can see a couple of upsets. We've seen it in the past with Appalachian State, you know, beating Michigan, and
Such
like
a classic.
Appalachian State beat somebody else. Who did Appalachian State beat last year?
Well, right now, currently, Appalachian State, they're a contender, right? I think we need to put them on the radar. Who did they beat most recently?
For the playoffs?
No, listen, man. They play in the Sun Belt, right? Who's competitive in the Sun Belt? 2 years ago, Coastal Carolina had a run, and it wasn't until like they played like Houston that Houston kind of knocked them out of contention. They were undefeated, but that's who I was going to kind of bring up. Like you talked about Appalachian State, and I'm like, I just looked at the top 25. This is going to be what we got into in the second segment, but let's just go ahead and talk about it now. The top 25 of college football, right? The coaches poll kind of came out, and I looked at the teams who didn't make the cut because the last team who made the cut, there were two Texas teams, 24 and 25. Texas Tech comes in at 24, and the Aggies come in at 25. But I always look at the list to see who's on the edge. And before that, there was two teams that were left off, but who could contend. What's up, Wes?
Wait. Are we going through the top 25 list right now?
We're probably going to do that right now. Yeah, that's why I kind of made that
Okay,
transition.
so what I just want to know what list you're looking at.
I'm looking at the coaches poll.
Coaches poll. Okay.
What do you have at 24 and 25?
So what now?
What do you have at 24 and 25? Position 24 and 25.
I'm still looking. You go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for letting me know you were looking.
That's why I was asking you.
There's only one poll out right now for top 25. To my knowledge, I could be wrong.
I mean, my phone is a little slow, so I
right.
got.
I put it in the group chat for you. I put it in the group chat.
I know, but dude, you know I can't see that. you know I need glasses.
It's all right. I had to zoom too, man. Coming in at 24, 25. But the names that were at the bottom, right? There's a few teams who are kind of listed towards the end where you kind of see who's on the edge. And for me, one of those teams was UTSA, right? And we know the quarterback Franklin's coming back. And they're going to pretty much reload at the receivers. They lost some NFL caliber receivers. But I think the defense is going to be what's pivotal to them. And I don't know, man. I would need to look at UTSA's schedule. We put some respect on their name to see what is going to be their hiccup. And I don't know if they get I don't think they get a hiccup until they get in the conference play. And with that being said, it's like we know SEC is going to beat each other up. We know the Big 12 is going to beat each other up. So you might as well just start marking A&M and Texas Tech off that list. But who's going to climb in and how far are they going to get? I think the highest UTSA has ever been ranked is like 23rd and I think that was in the college football playoff poll. So I'm just curious right now, what are the names that stand out to you, Wes? For me, it was UTSA. Texas is a little high. I think USC is extremely too high. I understand that Caleb Williams is the Heisman Trophy winner, reigning Heisman Trophy winner. But there's some teams out there, especially for me, Big Ten is going to beat each other up. SEC is going to beat each other up. Who's going to be there at the end of the Final Four? As long as Texas doesn't slip against Oklahoma, or maybe it's going to be either Oklahoma or TCU. If they don't slip, then they should be in the college football playoff. Outside of that, what is the team in your eyes, Wes, that's the biggest surprise being on the top 25 right now?
I mean, like you said, you're looking at those teams like UTSA. Even look at I got Tulane at 23.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who does Tulane have early in their schedule that could maybe trip them up? So if they really don't have anybody, you can see them definitely climbing. Everybody else that's kind of around there, they may have teams, especially once they get the conference, because you got Iowa, South Carolina, Florida, then UTSA, you got like Pitt, UCLA, Kentucky. These are all teams that are hovering around that top 25, but yet still they're gonna have to win to get in, and they could have some slip ups coming early. You look at 25, you got A&M. I mean, A&M has been a disappointment for the most part, I would say. for the last few years. I mean, especially since the hype of Johnny Manziel. Has anybody, nobody's definitely lived up to that hype.
Well, I think you don't think there was a bunch of hype when they hired Jimbo Fisher? I thought there was absolutely tremendous. There was a tremendous expectation for Jimbo to come in and produce. Now, we wanted to make sure that he had his quarterback that he recruited, which he didn't recruit Kellen Mond. So if he didn't recruit Kellen Mond and he was able to go in and get the quarterbacks he has now, which is the big 5-star recruit Connor Wigman out of spring, you got to produce now. Like, you're getting some guys who are going to come back, but to me, you do all this great recruiting, but you have no fruits of your labor. And I think A&M is going to disappoint again. And this may be, you almost have to ask yourself like this, like if they don't make it to, if they don't beat Tennessee, LSU, or A&M, they got to beat one of those teams. They are not getting to the conference championship game. It's not happening. But they got to beat one of those three teams. And if you don't beat one of those three teams, you got to – I think we need to get rid – I think it's time to get rid of Jimbo Fisher. I don't care how much money you paid him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, how much effort are you really giving if you're Jimbo Fisher? Well, but you got to look at, say, Texas Tech. Texas Tech may be a team that's got to show some moxie because now they got more people coming in. You think a second ago you're like, oh, Texas and Oklahoma's leaving, but oh snap! Here comes who's all coming? Colorado, Arizona State. Who's all coming now? Coming
it's
to
just
the Big
right
12,
now.
Texas
Right now it's just Colorado and Arizona.
Oh. It wasn't Utah. Am I hearing that wrong?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, where did you see that?
Well, I heard there was only 4 teams left in the pack, whatever it is.
Yep, that's true.
That was Oregon State, Washington State, Stanford, Cal.
Yeah,
everybody else is gone.
Yeah, but Stanford and Cal are about to go to the ACC.
Okay.
So I mean, it's dwindling fast. It's dwindling fast.
That's kind of odd, but I mean, is that their only choice? That's an odd.
Those are the only teams left to pluck from the Pac-12 that you're going to want. I mean, you're wanting the recruiting. You're wanting the recruiting from California. That's why they're going after those teams, Stanford and Cal, because you're building pipelines for recruiting to California. That's the only reason.
Yeah, but that's just a crazy. Now you're talking about scheduling of football games.
Yeah,
when you're playing across. I mean, that's insane to me. Where now you're 2 teams in a conference where all the teams you're playing are over there.
Yeah, but remember, those teams that are over there eventually have to play home games in California. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, I hear that, but I'm saying for both sides. Yes, you're correct. But it just seems like an odd place. But I guess that's the way it's going to have to be because I mean, you got to figure that the SEC is going to start making moves for teams that probably the ACC maybe that's why they made the moves for Cal and Stanford.
Absolutely.
The ACC because they could see the writing on the wall. It's like, well, next, they're going to start coming after our team. So, it's going to be interesting. As you go up, you'll see Ole Miss, Wisconsin, North Carolina. Teams that I don't see those. I don't see those as playoff teams, but I can see those as teams that still hang around that area of the top 25.
Which teams did you say?
We got Ole Miss, Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Oklahoma.
Right. Okay. So here's my curiosity, and we need to have a discussion about this. We can kind of see who's going to end the road in that college football playoff, that 4-team playoff, right? We can kind of see that now. We know it's going to be Georgia, Alabama is going to be one of the teams. And we can probably, it's safe to assume it's going to be Clemson or Florida State that may come out. Probably, if I had to guess, it's going to be Clemson. But who's going to represent the Big 12? Because I don't see Texas losing besides to Alabama and maybe Oklahoma. So who's going to be in the Big 12?
Really?
Why is that? Why? Tell me why that's funny.
Have they been that team yet where they only lose?
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. Why are they funny? You're talking about historical.
Because
I'm talking about current.
I'm just saying they haven't been that team that they only lose to the top tier teams. I'm just saying I see Texas losing more games than that.
To who?
It doesn't matter to who.
Yes, it does. It's important. It's a matchup play. That's what's going on there.
I'm saying it doesn't matter to who. They'll lose to somebody else. It's not. I can't tell you who it is right now, but I could definitely see it losing to a Kansas State, to a West Virginia, to a Kansas. You know,
you're saying Steve Sarkisian, who has the number 1 quarterback and number 2 quarterback in 2 different classes, is going to lose to a team like Kansas or Kansas State.
Has he not?
In his first year, yes, you're right. He lost. And who is this quarterback the first year?
Who did they beat this past season?
They had Alabama on the ropes until Quinn Ewers got hurt.
No.
Yes, that is what happened, Wes. I don't know what game you were watching. Were you at the bar at the time? That's what happened.
Don't start making excuses. Just tell me who they lost to. See,
they had 5 losses. They had 5 losses on the season.
Okay.
And how many points did they lose those 5 games by? Each game was lost by how many points or less?
So you're just telling me.
I'm asking.
Steve Sarkisian is this.
It's 7 points, Wes. They lost by 7 points or less in 5 games. That's what happened.
But you said they're just going to make this great turnaround, and all of a sudden,
absolutely. They got 2 teams they got to worry about: Alabama and Oklahoma. Those are the 2 teams.
When has this team showed you that they have something like this? That's what I don't understand.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the recent draft class. Maybe the way Steve Sarkisian produces quarterbacks and receivers. Who did Steve Sarkisian produce at Alabama? Who was in the quarterback room? Who was in the quarterback room at USC? Who was in the quarterback room at Washington?
And they call Dallas Cowboy fans delusional.
And we're talking about NFL production. These are quarterbacks who get drafted in the NFL. We're talking about receivers who get drafted in the NFL. What are the 2 positions the deepest at Texas right now? It's quarterback and wide receiver. Those are the deepest positions at Texas. And Texas has had 3 years to recruit out of the SEC country to produce defensive linemen and offensive linemen to compete in the SEC. That's why this team is going to be different.
So we had this great turnaround.
I said compete. Listen, I said compete. I didn't say win. I said compete. There's a big difference.
Dude, all I'm saying is Sarkisian wants to be coaching next year. He better win the Big 12.
I agree with that statement. But like I said, there's only one team in the Big 12 they got to worry about, and that's Oklahoma. I know you don't believe that, and that's okay. But you have to tell me more than just what the history has said. And I get it. Texas always wants to say, well, we're back. Okay, well, what have you done? Now, does Texas need to win a Big 12 championship? Listen, does Texas need to win a Big 12 championship? Absolutely. Do they need to compete and possibly win because TCU last year won a playoff game? Absolutely. Because if they don't win the Big 12, it is a disaster of a season with all of that firepower. You're right, 100%. But let's talk about what they build. Let's talk about what they've done. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think TCU is going to have a repeat of what they had last year.
Because they don't have Max.
No, man. Is Keandre Miller running for them? Keandre Miller, is he running back? No, he's not. That's the reason TCU did so well last year. Max Duggan just hit a win streak.
Hey, whoa.
Keandre Miller is the reason that they got into the college football playoff. If Keandre Miller plays, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Throw some respect on Max's name, though, man. Max played his ass.
He's a phenomenal college quarterback. Notice what I said. College.
I wouldn't put this dude in the frame of Tom Brady.
I definitely give him his due as a quarterback in college. Absolutely. He has the most will I've seen at the quarterback position 10 years maybe. He can will his team. He did that. He did that against Michigan.
But dude, it just seems like you're already saying Texas, a team that, I mean, when was the last time Texas was a 2-loss team?
Couldn't tell you.
Exactly.
But what does
you
that
already
prove?
got him.
But what does it prove?
I'm trying to. Can I say something?
I'm
Can I
waiting.
get to my point?
I'm waiting for some facts. That's what I'm waiting for.
The facts is they haven't done it in a long time. And all I'm saying is you're expecting them to already turn around. They lost 5 games last year, and now they're gonna turn around. They're gonna be a 1-loss, 2-loss team.
I personally feel they could be undefeated.
Oh my God.
But what that's the thing is, like, you dismiss it as if it's like impossible. You're telling me it's impossible.
Hey, dude, anything's possible. Shit,
Great.
it is possible.
Great.
It's possible I can win $1 million tomorrow.
Well, it probably won't gonna happen tomorrow. But my point is that discounting all the work and all the progress and all the development is completely, I think, totally disrespectful. You're like saying Steve Sarkisian can't coach quarterbacks. Steve Sarkisian can't develop receivers. Then if you want to talk about history, look at what he's done in the past. What did he do at Alabama? Did Devontae Smith become a Heisman Trophy winner? Yeah, he did. Who coached? Who was in the quarterback room when Steve Sarkisian was there?
Wait.
Tua
Devontae
Tagovailoa.
Smith, you talking about when he was with Nick Saban?
I'm talking about who his offensive coordinator was. Yes, you're right. What is Nick Saban? What position? What position does Nick Saban coach?
Great crutch.
What position does Nick Saban coach? Defensive backs. Thank you very much.
It's not being with Nick Saban.
This is about being with the offensive coordinator, Steve Sarkisian. That's what it is, and you're unwilling to reason with that.
I'm just saying, man. You know how you have more confidence when you roll up with somebody that's a bad man. You step up. You walk with your chest up higher when you're walking with a bad man like Nick Saban. Now, when it's on you, when you're the dude and you already have not lived up to the hype, and now the chatter has started, and that seat is warming up. It's a totally different thing. You're talking about when a dude that it's not really on him. Yeah, it's on him to win games, but he's just doing it as a coordinator. Now all of this is on him, and I think it's starting to shrivel up a little bit. You're talking. A little scary.
You're telling me you're calling out Steve Sarkisian's manhood. Is that what you're telling me? I'm trying to make it clear.
The part where you don't understand what I'm saying.
I'm trying to make it clear.
I thought it was pretty clear.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Whatever, man. I thought it was pretty clear what I was saying. I'm just saying it's a lot tougher when you're the man. There ain't no hiding it. There ain't no blaming it on this person or this person can, protect you. It's all on him. And it makes a difference. I mean,
so what excuses are you giving Nick Saban for the last 2 years when Georgia handed their ass the losses and embarrassment in the SEC?
Come on, man.
I'm asking you.
No. First of all, it's Nick Saban. Yeah, you can't win them all.
So we give Nick Saban a pass for the past 2 years. It's a pass? That's what you're saying?
Hey.
Can't win them all? Well, then Steve Sarkisian hasn't been a coach long enough to win them all.
Maybe Nick Saban is on a down slope. But you telling me you're not afraid of a Nick Saban team coming back when he's
not this year?
Got a little fire coming after him this year?
Not this year. You want to know why? Because they're too loud. You got middle linebackers at Alabama saying we're going to try to make people quit. What do you have to prove? You're Alabama, right? You're Alabama. You are supposed to be the exception. What do you need to boast about?
Maybe that's what Nick Saban has told him. He's like, what, dude? Y'all haven't proved nothing last year, so y'all need to prove something.
Yeah, maybe they're insecure about that.
And maybe he's going into it's like, hey, ain't nobody got no secure spots. Prove yourself. Prove what you can do.
Absolutely. So maybe it's up to Nick Saban to prove that he can still coach to get these players to produce the way they should be. If it's Alabama.
Hey, it better not be a blowout. I'll tell you that.
That's a good point. Absolutely. But at the other half, you better hope it's not a blowout in favor of Texas. There's going to be a lot of people scratching their head. See, you want to dismiss that part, but you want to give the benefit of the doubt to Alabama. You can't have it both ways.
What percentage do you think that's really can happen? What's
a blowout?
What's the better chance of happening?
A blowout. I'm talking about just the blowout. Neither side picked. I'm just talking about a blowout.
What is more likely to happen? Texas blows out Alabama. Alabama blows out Texas.
I think they're both. I believe they're both have a. I would say Alabama has a little bit slight higher opportunity for that to come to pass. I think just a little bit, and here's why. Who is Alabama? What do you when you say Alabama? What are you talking about? You're talking about 20. You're talking about what? What are you talking about?
It's about talking about championships. You're talking about recruiting. You're talking about depth.
How's recruiting gone the last 2 years? Nick Saban was crybabying about it during COVID. Nick Saban was talking about how we need to raise more money because A&M is beating us in recruiting.
Well, where was this recruiting class?
Where was it?
I'm guessing it's still the top. I don't even know. To be honest,
okay.
I don't know. But I guarantee you it was one of the top recruiting classes.
Fair. But my point is that it took Nick to open his mouth to get the donors to put in more money. Meanwhile, A&M, shitty-ass A&M, is spending all kinds of money and still can't win anything. The point is that we all understand Nick knows this is a money game. And at the end of the day, in NIL, right now it's the wild, wild west. You better make sure you have money because there are recruits coming from all over who are saying, I'll go to Texas. They got more money. I'll go to Ohio State. They have more money. I'll go anywhere because they have more money.
You're comparing dudes that aren't Nick Saban to Nick Saban. Like you're comparing these dudes that
I'm comparing donors who are not Nick Saban to Nick Saban.
Jimbo Fisher. What does Jimbo Fisher want?
He's won a national championship.
He won at Florida State.
He won an Eddie.
Right.
And he developed a Heisman Trophy winner. Crab legs.
Do you think Nick Saban, that Jimbo Fisher cares anymore?
I sure hope he does because, well, maybe he doesn't because he knows that contract's fully guaranteed.
Yeah. So, I mean, he might be going like, guys, do what y'all want to do. We win. If we don't, we don't. Stay healthy. Y'all, y'all try to make it to the next level. You guys just make some plays and try to make it to the next level. I'm going to be all right.
That's absolutely true. He will be all right. But at the end of the day, there has to be a team that's going to come up. And who is that team? We don't know yet. We're going to see. We're going to find out. And I'm just saying, if I have to pick between Steve Sarkisian at 50 or whatever he is compared to Nick Saban at 70, I'm going to take the younger coach. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm taking the younger coach.
But he hadn't done anything.
Steve, who hasn't done anything?
As a head coach.
True. 100% correct. What did Nick Saban do before he got to Alabama? What did Nick Saban do before he got to LSU? What did Nick Saban do before he was a head coach?
Yeah, but
he was in Cleveland, remember? With Bill? Ain't doing nothing.
But it wasn't long before after he got to the head coach that he won.
And how did he win? How did he win? Dude. With what? With recruiting, right?
Dude, all I'm saying is, dude, you're putting Sarkisian in this pedestal of being this great coach, and yet still he's only been a great offensive coordinator. And some people, that's maybe what they do. True. I mean, you look at what's your boy Kingsbury. Mm-hmm. He was a pretty good offensive coordinator, and then head coach at Texas Tech, he was trash. Head coach at Arizona for the Cardinals, he was trash.
Absolutely, but who made the decision to hire him? Those organizations, those schools, right?
But they're talking like you. Oh, he was such a great offensive coordinator.
Bro, I'm talking. You're comparing the ceiling, and I'm talking about the development of players. That's what I'm talking about. I could give two shits about Kingsbury. I didn't think the guy was that great at A&M. I thought Johnny Manziel's athletic ability is what carried them over Alabama that one game. Other than that, A&M did dog shit. So for me, it's about what Sarkisian has done in his entire career, producing Mark Sanchez, producing Matt Castle, producing Tua, producing Mac Jones, John David Booty. We're talking about quarterbacks. He's got a Manning who picked Texas over and see, you scowl that, you make your face like that, but I have to ask you this question. How many of those guys got drafted into the NFL? How many of those guys got drafted?
You're excited about the Manning kid that's not playing?
You said he would, right? You're like, oh, well, he's not going to go there. He's not going to go there unless he starts. And I was like, dude, that's bullshit. He's going to stay and he'll sit and he'll transition Texas in the SEC era. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. You say so. But I'm just saying, okay, so Sarkisian, he was a head coach somewhere else, right?
He's been a head coach at USC in Washington. He literally turned the Washington program around before he went and fucked things up.
He turned them around and did what?
He didn't make Washington a Pac-12 power. He didn't do that. But while he was a head coach,
yeah.
You don't remember them playing in a BCS bowl. You don't remember that? I mean, they got their ass handed to them. Don't get me wrong.
Exactly.
Okay, but my point is that if you can't,
I
want to talk about Wes. You know, it's the recruiting's different. You understand that.
But dude, okay. So what did he do at USC?
He didn't do anything because he got drunk and started heckling people and got terminated.
Oh, okay.
You don't remember that? Yeah. I do.
We can watch out for that. I mean,
for sure.
He does live in the party city. I mean, trust me, I know.
All right, Big Nasty, I see you. 8:40. Let's get into a quick break. We'll cool off. We'll go take a quick shower break. It's all love. Don't y'all get it twisted. We just want to make sure we're a little bit entertaining for y'all because we've been light lately.
I'm cool, man. Ain't never love.
Okay, you cooler than the other side of the pillow. I got it. Calm down, Andre 3000. All right, guys, 8:41. Give us a few minutes.
Hey, I haven't said what's up to James. We've been talking for like 3 hours now, and James hasn't said a word.
James is making sure we all look good. That's what it is.
I'm cool, man. I'm back here chilling, doing my job, watching y'all, making y'all look good while debating, not arguing, debating.
I call it.
But damn, Wes, you hard headed as hell.
It's all right. I am too. It's all right. See, that's what happens when you got big heads. See, you close. You like a large. I'm like because I got a fat head. I got like triple XL. Wes is like an XL. You just a large.
I got that forehead.
Yeah, but you keep it crispy. You gotta keep it with it
lined up.
There you go. That's what I'm looking for. All right, guys, we're up against it. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into a little bit of a little running back news. See if anybody signed with a certain team. Sorry, Alvin. Welcome back, everybody. It is time to get into the next part of the show. Lots of running back news kind of coming out. Reports are that Kareem Hunt might be signing with the New Orleans Saints after the recent news of a potential suspension for Alvin Kamara. Previously, Hunt was in Cleveland. Before that, he was with the Super Bowl champs, although I don't believe he was on one of the Super Bowl winning teams. West, lots of running back news. We're still waiting for Dalvin Cook to land somewhere. Hunt is still there. Ezekiel Elliott is still in the mix. For me, I'm really curious to see where Dalvin's going to land. I think that's going to be the linchpin that kind of has everybody else kind of in a domino effect. I mean, Josh Jacobs is not in Nevada, apparently. What's up? Oh, okay. I see what's going on. So, Wes, here's my question to you. What quarterback is in the most demand outside of Dalvin Cook? We know Dalvin's like the lead guy right now. He may land with the Jets, the Patriots, maybe Dallas. That's a long shot. Not going to happen. Who outside of those of Dalvin Cook is the most in demand running back in your eyes outside of Hunt being signed potentially with New Orleans?
Are you adding it? Are you adding in Jacobs and Taylor?
Nah, man. We know those guys aren't going anywhere. They're just not in camp.
I mean, outside of that, you're really only looking at probably Zeke. I mean, who else would you have on the list? You already have getting a deal.
Who?
Jamal Williams. He took off. Whatever.
He's in New Orleans too. It's kind of funny how he went, and then now we have Kareem Hunt landing there too.
So because that's the way the NFL is sending this message that running backs they're not very valued. So there's ways to get around it. You can now do the running back by committee. So that's why Dallas, moved on from Zeke. They didn't value what Zeke does. But I think Zeke does some things that I don't know if these other guys can do. I don't know if anybody can pick up a blitz package like Zeke.
So here's some names. Here's some names that are out there outside of Dalvin. You said Zeke, Leonard Fournette. I hear is supposed to be talking with one team, the Cowboys. Kareem Hunt went and signed with New Orleans. And then now we get into it. J.D. McKissick, Rex Burkhead, Mark Ingram, and Giovanni Bernard. Hasn't really done much lately. And then it kind of really falls off. But names still out there that you would know. David Johnson still out there, really old. Malcolm Brown, former Texas, not really doing much. Benny Snell, that was a name. And it just kind of falls off real hard, real fast. So for me, Burkhead could be a guy you could kind of, I could see him going back to New England as a third down guy that they need. They're going to throw out of the backfield. McKissick could be also a guy that can line up the slot. So. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. McKissick to me could be a contributor. Burkhead could be a contributor. I think Giovanni Bernard could be if he's in the right system. But outside of Elliott and Fournette, man, there's not. It's just done. The running back position is pretty much over. And that's the thing is where did they go? I like Elliott. I would think Elliott would do well in New England. I think he would be a good protector for Mac Jones. I think he could run the ball effectively. I don't think he's going to be a guy you want to put in as a go-to. But he could also do the same thing for Tua down in Miami. I think he would be more of a protection running back than he would be a contributor on the offensive side. He can catch well out of the backfield. But outside of that, if you need a third down back, if you need goal line back, you go get Leonard Fournette. And I think that's what Dallas should do. I think they go get Leonard Fournette. Ronald Jones, I don't think he's got enough power. He didn't look good in Tampa. Fournette looked good in Tampa to me.
And he already suspended?
Who, Leonard?
No, Jones.
Ronald Jones, yeah, probably. I think he's going to suspend it for at least 3 games. I could be wrong, but I think it's 3.
And then who else do they have that's on the team? So
no names.
Don't be surprised if the Cowboys try to still retain Elliott.
You think who would you pick out of those two, Elliott or Fournette?
I mean, of course, for me, I would take Elliott just because
Okay.
that's the guy I know. That's the guy that knows the system.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the guy that, like I said, he's a great blocking back. He's one of the top blocking backs in the league. And that's why he's probably it was a big, it was kind of a decision to get rid of him just because of the way he blocks and the way their offense is ran, But I mean, that's just the way it's going in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The life of a running back after 3 or 4 years, it's getting a little bit. And then you're talking about guys that have been in here, 6, 7, 8 years?
Absolutely.
I mean, how long has Leonard Fournette been in here?
Probably same around time as Zeke, maybe a little less, but that's about right. 5-6 years.
Okay, I thought it was more, but even the other guy that came out to say you mentioned Giovanni. What was he saying?
Giovanni Bernard. Yeah, I think Bernard's been here for pushing 10.
Yeah, so I mean, you're just most teams would rather go get a young guy, develop him.
Yep.
Usually they want less money, stuff like that, just because these guys that have aged, they want decent money, but who's going to give a running back decent money when you don't know if they're going to last, past that third game?
What's Zeke gonna? What do you think Zeke's commanding? You think he wants $8 million, $5 million?
I mean, if I was him, but
you're not.
Probably won't listen to me. I would have on my. It'd basically be, I'll come play for y'all for $2 million, but if I get this many carries, I get this many yards, I get this much, then I want this much more money. If I get all of this, then I want that much money, and I want an extension to the next year.
So you want a heavily incentive-laced contract. What's the total amount? What's the total payout? You talking $5 million, $6 million? How much?
I mean, I think you could go up to the point, especially if you could talk him into, you get that extension where you could get $15 million
for multiple years. $15 million?
Yeah,
bro.
Why not?
You're talking about
more. But you put more incentives on the other end.
You're talking. You're talking a lot of cash.
I get this. I'm just saying, year 2, if I do this much, I do this much. You get more money.
So you're talking a year older, less tread on the tire, and you want to give more cap hit to your team, because you still got to pay Martin. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that for me, I'm telling Zeke, I was like, you're gonna come in $1 million signing bonus, and I'll give you a contract laden with 1.5 in incentives, $2.5 million contract for 1 year, and if you produce, then we'll talk about next year. But $6 million, $7 million for nothing, for blocking? That's a big cap hit. It's a big cap hit.
It depends on how much you actually could. What are those incentives? What yard marks are we talking about? So
it had to be number of carries. It had to be number of touchdowns. It had to be and it would be like 500,000 for this, 500,000 for that. 250 for this, right? To me, if I was Jerry, I said, look, we get to a Super Bowl, I'll pay you $1 million. We make it to a Super Bowl, I'll give you $1 million bonus.
Jerry's already probably said that to everybody.
Yeah, maybe. He may have already said that to everybody. That's true. But I'm just saying, somebody's got to redo Dak's deal. Somebody needs to redo Martin's deal. Mike is going to get paid next year. It makes sense for him to get paid next year. And if they don't, God be with them. Trayvon Diggs, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Y'all see that drama happen? The Dak Prescott, Trayvon Diggs drama?
Is that when they said they
I don't know if it's drama.
Is that when they said he hit him in practice or no?
No. When he told Trayvon told Dak to shut your BA up. Shut your BS up.
Okay.
On the field in front of cameras. But he said it in a way that wasn't like your boy telling you that. It was like an enemy telling you that. Like maliciously, right? It didn't seem like friendly. It didn't seem like a joke. It seemed like you keep losing us games, so shut your ass up. And they put a B in front of it, right? And I'm just like, God, like it just, to me, it didn't look good. And I sent it in the chat, the group chat, and I said, look, one of these guys ain't getting another deal from Dallas.
Oh, that's what you said. Okay.
Yeah, one of these guys ain't getting another deal. And for me, I'm sorry, but Dak's got to go. You got to go. You got to go.
But just you talking about the talking, man, that's what happens.
It
man.
does. You're right. But it doesn't. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to the franchise quarterback.
Dude,
Or when
here's the difference. Here's the difference, Wes. An opponent on another team can mouth off to your franchise quarterback and let him handle it. What do franchise quarterbacks do when a defender starts chirping in their face? What did Tom Brady do in the Super Bowl when Tyrann Mathieu mouthed off to him? Tom went and got in his face, right? What did Dak do?
Hey.
Dak flipped the ball to Trayvon like it was no big deal.
Dude, I mean, it's different situations or whatever, but I think you kind of read too much into it. But sometimes, maybe that's Trayvon's way of trying to hype Dak up. Maybe somebody needs to do it.
Let me ask you this. I
got no problem with it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair from your end. I disagree, and that's okay. We can agree, disagree.
What if he talked to you like that, Wes?
But that's a good point. But I want to ask Wes this question. Wes, what are you doing? What do you think, I should say? What do you think when you see another grown man tell another grown man, he calls him outside of his name, and the man who is on the receiving end of being called outside of his name doesn't do anything? Because to me, what it looks like to me, I thought Dak was soft. Great human. But in the football and being tough, being the football player, looks soft to me. Looks weak to me. You're supposed to be the franchise quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, #1 franchise valued in the world. You're going to get all of these different doors open for you after you're done playing. Don't believe me? Look at Tony. And you have someone call you outside of your name in practice, and you're just going to flick a ball at him? You're just going to flip the ball?
You're being ridiculous.
No, Wes, it's a matter of taking some pride in who you are, taking some pride in who you are as a man, as a football player. That's cool, bro. Maybe you don't act that way, and that's fine. That's okay. But these are supposed to be competitors, right? You're telling me when you're on the hardwood, you let someone call you outside of your name?
Dude, first of all, certain people do things differently.
Because they're soft.
No. Would you say Tim Duncan is soft?
Tim Duncan's an assassin. He's a quiet assassin. He's going to let you talk all day long, but he's going to beat you and win championships. I don't see any championships with that.
Oh, my God, dude. Anyway, all I'm saying is maybe like you said it was in front of cameras. Maybe Dak sees it's like, you know what? I don't need to talk this shit in front of cameras. I don't need to let the cameras know what I'm about to say. And maybe Dak, when the cameras aren't rolling, pulls digs up to the side and say, hey man, I hear you what you're doing. I know that you wanted us to do better, but maybe you don't call me out of my name. But also, maybe some guys just lead by example, man. You ain't always got to talk smack. It's not always great to respond like a lunatic.
Why didn't any of those offensive linemen come to the defense of Dak? Whenever Ezekiel Elliott got knocked out of bounds on the sideline in the game, everybody's there to back him up? Why is it nobody's there for Dak? Bro, I'm talking about the offensive line. We're talking about the franchise quarterback with the red jersey, somebody who's mouthing off to him. I don't give a shit if there's an offensive lineman 10 yards down the field. You as an offensive lineman should be running to protect your quarterback at all times.
Practice.
Bro, that's fine. You can talk about it all day long, Allen Iverson, but I'm going to tell you like this. Ain't nobody talking outside of the name to Aaron Rodgers. Ain't nobody talking outside of their name to Drew Brees. Ain't nobody talking outside of their name to Kirk Cousins. Because they know there's going to be an incident. There will be an incident if someone tries to get mouthy, get lippy like that. I don't believe it. Well.
I don't believe it. I just believe that this actually got picked up and was seen.
So you're saying it happens every day. Then that lets me further know that Dak is more of a punk than I thought he was. If it's happening every day in practice, why is he the quarterback? Then like you say, give me Cooper Rush. Maybe Cooper Rush will run his damn mouth back.
You don't think they say the same thing to Cooper Rush? It's just nobody cares who talks to Cooper Rush that way.
But shouldn't they care if that's the way they talk to Dak? Shouldn't someone care?
No. It's a brotherhood, man. Unless it's getting out of control and you're talking about bad hits or something like that. Words ain't nothing but words, man. It's just words. Stop being so sensitive.
Man, let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something right now. The dudes out there, and I'm talking about men, the dudes out there who don't want to be messed with. Let me just say it. The dudes that don't want to be fucked with. People are going to second guess themselves. Should I say something or should I not say something? You think people talk sideways to certain alpha players? You think people talk like that to LT? Aaron Donald? Tyler Lewan? You think they talk like that to Trent Williams? Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa? You think people talk like that to Micah Parsons?
Yes.
Bro.
They all talk like that.
Bro.
They all talk like that. It's all talk. It's just if you pick it up or not. And also, a lot of people do the talking, and you know what you do? You don't say anything. Like, all right, I got your next play.
That is a problem with the Dallas Cowboys, and that makes even more sense that you would say it that way because we want to excuse their mediocrity. That is the reason why they are soft because we want to just excuse them being passive about that.
No, it ain't nothing about it. Ain't no reason to talk if you ain't gonna do nothing. Do something.
That's my point. That's why people open their mouth because they know they ain't gonna do something.
But hey, fighting ain't gonna do nothing. Win game.
It's gonna show respect. It's gonna make someone second guess. Should I open my mouth this time or should I not? It's a respect thing, and that's what I'm trying to circle around to. People know who and who not to fuck with.
Hey, maybe that's just a head thing. You know, you're trying to get into somebody's head. Just line up and play football. Let them talk all they want. You go out and win the game, and I guarantee you, all that talking goes away. You can talk all you want. Winners, if you ain't winning, nothing doesn't matter.
Winners win and losers lose. And the last time I checked, winners like to talk a whole lot. A whole lot.
But and if you ain't winning, what's the point of talking? So go out and win before you start talking.
So I'll tell you this. The defense won on that play, and Trayvon Diggs was talking. And so you're right. The losers were quiet and went back to the huddle because they got their ass whipped on that play. All right, 9:08. Let's get into. You want to take a break and then we'll get back. We'll get off the rails. We're pretty much off the rails already.
You know, you're trash talk.
Transition like if you want. It's up to you, no man.
Well, let's just get into it. Let's get off the rails a little bit. What was that? Who's transitioning?
Oh no.
Oh, I thought my fault.
No, I said we could transition into
transition. My fault. Okay, well, let's just get into it then. James, how was the Jake Paul Diaz fight? You're a big Diaz fan.
Yeah.
What was the takeaway?
Man, so we watched the fight at my house, and my kiddos were watching with me because most of them were going for Jake Paul. Of course, first of all, I couldn't stand the commentary. It was horrendous. They were all going for Jake Paul. It was obvious they were biased. But it was a fun fight. It was something fun to watch. I know a lot of people don't like Jake Paul, but honestly, Jake Paul, this fight, he earned my respect.
Okay.
And that's kind of a big leap for me as opposed to where I was at the beginning when all of this stuff started with Jake Paul and stuff. But when you look at the bigger picture, in my opinion, he's putting a lot of money in these ex-UFC fighters or MMA fighters' pockets. You know, I know Tyron Woodley, I think he took home maybe 10 million, 5 million, which he wasn't getting that, nowhere near that. He fought him twice. Ben Askren, Nate Diaz, I'm guarantee you got a hefty payday for this fight. Didn't go the way I wanted it. I felt like they had a strategy to wear him out. But man, Jake Paul brought it. You know, he knocked him down once. I don't think that this is all a show. You know, this guy, I think he's really training hard and he threw a shitload of punches compared to Nate Diaz, and he lasted the 10 rounds, and it was a fun fight. It was something different. Like, do I think that he's gonna go and fight Crawford or Canelo and beat him? No, It's not what this is. But it's something fun, something different to watch. So yeah, it was all right. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like the last like three fights on the card.
Did it look like an easy payday for Nate? It looked to me, because when I watched the highlights, maybe I was missing something, but it sure looked like this was just, let me get a quick payday and then get done with the sideshow.
That's the thing too. I was like, I don't know how serious he took it.
Didn't seem like he took it very serious.
I think he knew definitely late in the fight that he was behind on the scorecards, and he was, pulling the antics that he normally pulls in the octagon. But it's just it's totally different. Like, he was well versed in boxing, but he hadn't fought in a boxing fight. He trains with top level boxers, but he's never been in the boxing room for an actual boxing fight. He's used to the 3 5-minute rounds as opposed to the
3-minute rounds.
3-minute rounds, so it's just a different pace, and it's MMA boxing is different than actual boxing, where you don't have the leg kicks available, you don't have the takedowns, you don't have the chokes. Although he did
I saw a couple moves.
Yeah.
I saw a couple attempts.
Like I said, it was fun. Like, I was like, wouldn't it be funny, just to see him like go out there and just leg kick the shit out of him? Because I guarantee you, Jake Paul would fall.
Yeah.
But it was fun, man. They both got paid.
Entertaining.
I'm not hating on it. Yeah. Jake Paul challenged him to a rematch in an MMA fight. I don't know what the likeliness of that happening, because I think it's no contest on that. Nate has it all day. And we've seen it time and time again when boxers transition or try to go into MMA.
Yeah.
We saw James Toney go and fight Randy Couture, and
that was
absolutely just was a fish out of water. But, like, we would like to see that, because you'd finally get to see Jake Paul get what he deserves. But is it really going to be, like, fun to watch? You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be, like, entertaining?
It may be too fast. Maybe a fast finish.
So it might not be something that we might not, like, get to enjoy, But, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see it, obviously,
I want to see Pereira fight Jake Paul.
Yeah, that would be good. Honestly, like, what I want to see next is Conor. That's what I want to see.
Box him?
Yeah. I think that would be...
I think he's way too big.
Jake Paul?
Yeah, he's just too big.
Well, I mean, Conor...
Is he gonna be juiced? If they let him juice, so. If they let him juice, then it's different.
I hope so. Wes, you watched the fight, right?
No, I saw the highlights of it.
Okay.
Like I said, like y'all were saying, Diaz seemed like he was joking around not second half, but later in the fight, and didn't seem like he was really taking it serious. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know, like he wanted it that much. He knew he was getting paid, and you don't get a belt for winning that fight. So I mean,
what was the purse for Diaz?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay,
let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't know if like for these events, if that's like released or not.
Well, it's supposed to be a professional bout, right?
Okay, yeah.
So if it's professional, it should be public. Wes, what's up? What else is going on, man? Did you watch the Manziel doc yet or no?
I watched some of it. I haven't finished it. I watched some of that Jake Paul doc, Untold or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the Jake Paul one. Kind of to me, I didn't finish it, but it got kind of, to me, it just got kind of boring. Like, rich kids get rich and now they're depressed because they're so rich and, try to stay rich or whatever it is. This way it kind of seemed to me. Gotcha. It's like, we made a bunch of money, but now how do we keep it? And now our life is so terrible because we're so rich.
So I'm looking at these totals right here, but it doesn't. It says that they haven't released the official numbers, but it said that Paul reportedly brought home an estimated $2 million from the fight, while Diaz is believed to have won a guaranteed $500,000. Which I don't know.
Maybe that's just a show.
Yeah, because I know that he had his promotion at Real Fighting Diaz that was promoted like in the ring and throughout the event and stuff. So I'm pretty sure.
You think George does it? You think George gets in the ring?
Shit.
Masvidal.
Yeah, it'd be a good payday for him.
I'd just like to see them talk.
Yeah, and that's what brings these fighters out, is the payday, and
Absolutely.
also it's this guy. It's like, oh, he's a YouTuber influencer, but he's right in picking his opponents. Washed up Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz is in the latter part of his career at 38 years old. Ben Askren, fresh off of hip. He needed a hip replacement, I believe, and he's a wrestler.
Yep.
Tyron Woodley, wrestler, but nonetheless, he's a world champion. Ben Askren, world champion. Anderson Silva, world champion. So he's doing it right by the way that he's doing it. And, people, it's kind of like whenever Floyd Mayweather turned into Money May, that, people wanted to see him get beat because he started being real arrogant and, acting up and whatnot, and I was a victim to that. I told myself, I was like, I am not buying another Mayweather fight because I wanted to see him lose.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No.
All right, fellas. Anything we're looking forward to coming up? Anything new? Anything that you're excited for?
I was at I sent you guys, I was in Round Rock on Saturday at this place called the Round Rock Sports Center. And that place is fabulous, dude. It's a little sports center that they got. They got 6 courts over there. I had no idea that was there. So one of my kiddos got invited to go play in a tournament over there on Saturday and Sunday. And they got bounced out early, but still a good experience to go down there.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're starting to get involved in that and teams around the community and stuff, and we got a tournament on the 26th in San Antonio that we'll be over there for. So it's pretty cool, man. I'm enjoying it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wes, what about you?
Nothing, man. Of course, get excited about the postseason in baseball. Rangers are still leading the West. It's probably been a long time since they've been still leading the West in the season. So excited about that, and just excited for a football season to start. Actually got to start shopping for a vehicle. Probably gonna go with a truck.
Nice. Like a pickup truck, or
I mean the actual truck. Not as nice. Maybe something with cloth seats and all that kind of stuff. Some, you can move stuff around in and stop having to drive the Gator every day. So looking into that. But just catching up on shows, man, because it's been kind of slow. I did enjoy the Ocho, man. It was some crazy stuff on the Ocho that I watched this past weekend. With the foot golf, pillow fights. They had like 4-team volleyball, 3-team soccer. They had all kinds of crazy stuff.
I don't know. I don't know like where they got these people to like participate. Like, I wonder if they like made it up. They like came up like maybe some creative folks got together and they started brainstorming and be like, hey, what if we did this? What if we made a game out of this? And it's like, I don't know. I guess I wanted to see some dudes slapping each other on the Ocho. Like, let's see that, professional face slapping. I think that would have fit perfectly on the Ocho. Or
you like that?
I like it in small doses. If it's like, if it comes on my feed, I'll watch like a couple of rounds, but you're gonna get sick watching people just get knocked out, because I understand what's happening in their brain, in their skull, or really what I should say, and that's not good for you. Yeah. It's not good for your brain to be slamming against your skull.
I see that, and I wonder what the skill involved in is that. Besides,
I think it's that part of your palm, that and just connecting right with your jaw, right motion.
And what's the defensive skill in that?
Traps, shoulders, and traps. I read
you were telling me about that?
Yeah, I read a dissertation from a lady from Texas Tech University when I was in college, and it was basically when CTE was like becoming a real big hot topic issue with the NFL, and she wrote her dissertation about how she tested and documented the Texas Tech football team, and the findings of it were the individuals who had lower rates of traumatic brain injury had larger traps and larger shoulders, and if you start putting in like biomechanical studies into it, the more your neck can absorb force, the least likely it was for your brain to smack into the bone of your skull, because your brain sits in this little fluid inside your skull. Anyways, so the linebackers had lesser amounts of traumatic brain injury, but quarterbacks, DBs, and receivers had larger amounts of traumatic brain injury. And what's a fun fact of this, she needed a control, right? She needed a certain sport that had a control. Well, the largest sport that produces the largest amount of traumatic brain injury is an interesting sport. Not a lot of people. I was shocked whenever I discovered what it was, and it was actually collegiate women's field hockey is the sport that has the highest rates of traumatic brain injury at the time. It could be different now, but at the time. And it's because field hockey, they're using wooden clubs, and it's not required for them to wear helmets.
I thought there was like some sort of correlation like with men and CTE as opposed to like females, that like men were more.
It could there could be like there's 10,000 studies that could correlate that, but it's most times that, you know, outside of probably women's field hockey, maybe even I would probably say women's lacrosse, women's hockey. You're probably not going to see a lot of traumatic brain injury outside of those women's sports. Yeah. But meanwhile, men's sports, you know,
they're constantly,
there's always some sort of motion. Maybe women's boxing too. We probably talk about women's boxing in that genre, but you know, there's probably a larger number of men who are participating in sports that are going to have more of an impact with traumatic brain injury, which would lead to CTE. So just crazy how that study came out. But yeah, I definitely think that you're going to see women's sports with field hockey, boxing, ice hockey, and maybe even lacrosse.
I haven't heard of soccer. They have quite a problem with the heading
Yeah,
those balls.
that's for sure.
When they're kicking, when somebody kicks the ball and it's definitely traveling too fast and they head them, it's causing some problems.
It's also headbutting each other. Like it's just whenever another skull hits another skull, like that's bone on bone, and something's going to give. You know, whoever has the smaller neck, or maybe if you're running at a certain speed and you go head first, you could go into someone's knee with someone's shin.
Give me a headache, Paul.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, it's just you start getting in and diving into that, you know, that science, and you're just like, whoa, like what is? The brain is a very fragile organ, and it sits in the solution in your brain, and you know, there's like car accidents and so many different things, and but for a long time, especially in like American football, like what are we doing? Like we're taught when I played, we were taught with hit with your eyes, right? Hit with this part of your head. Well, you start hitting enough, and you eventually, you know, your brain is eventually going to have all this trauma, and it's not until you pass away or you know, pass on that they can really look at that, because they don't have any images that could take care or measure that CTE inside of a skull right now. I bet you they will soon, but not right now. It's crazy. You ever see the movie? Damn it, what's the movie with Will Smith and they talk about CTE? Can't think of the top of my head.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
That movie will give.
African.
Yeah, he's an African doctor, and like even the NFL was like, you're gonna only show certain things and not everything that we let you see, and they made the media company like seriously edit that film, because the African doctor was like showing all kinds of like, y'all are not talking about this. You're not talking, and it all led to that $1 billion lawsuit. What was it called?
Concussion. Yeah.
Shout out to Andrew Johnson. He was giving us that answer in the chat. So it's crazy, man. It's cool. It's something to get into. Like I thought that was fantastic. Like research when I was in school in college, and because I always thought about it. I'm like, why are all these things happening, right, to these famous football players? And then you start digging. You go down that rabbit hole, and it gets real crazy real fast. So, and who knows? Like maybe I have it, and I don't even know, and it won't be till later on I find it out, or you know what? I don't know. I mean, I didn't play football that long, but I played into my early 20s.
Yeah, I saw this article a while back that they were saying that there was CTE found in people playing football as young as at the high school level, early high school level. Yeah.
And I contribute that, and people are gonna get mad at me for saying this, but I don't give a shit. I think that I really think that we need to have more oversight in youth football. I really don't believe any youth players should be playing full contact football until you're in junior high. And a lot of people get mad at me by saying that, but I'm sorry. Their bodies are not ready for that sport yet. Flag football, great. If you're gonna play flag football, wear a head halo, and you'll be good to go. But I don't think children should be playing full contact football until they're at least 13, 14 years old. That's just me. That's my takeaway. Love me or hate me. Sorry.
My one of my kiddos is starting 7th grade football this year.
Yeah.
So
make sure whenever you go to tackle, just make sure you can see the jersey. Make sure you can see the numbers of the jersey. That's all you want to say. Make sure you can, if you're going to hit somebody, make sure you can see the numbers on the jersey.
Have they started practicing?
I mean, I don't know if y'all remember a few years ago when Ryan Shazier went to go hit somebody and nearly went paralyzed on the field? Yeah. I do. Yeah. It's crazy. It was more serious than what happened to Damar Hamlin last year. It shook me. Like, I was like, damn, like the dude could have been paralyzed. And I bet you there was some life-saving techniques that went on to like save his spine. And, now today he can walk. It's a little bit assisted and mostly unassisted, but yeah, it's bad. Yeah. I've seen crazy things.
Hamlin's playing this year.
Yeah, Damar Hamlin's practicing, right? Science is nuts. Science is crazy. When there's a multi-billion-dollar industry, we're going to learn some things about the human body when you have that much money behind it. Wes, what were you saying?
I'm saying I can't believe he's playing this year, Hamlin. I mean, that's got to be a scary thing to get out there and, go through those motions and still be able to, function as a player and not, come up short or, defend yourself a little bit more in your head area when you've already been, knocked out or whatever area they hit you in. You're like more defensive. That's got to be insane for him to be out there doing it and not thinking about that.
And he's a player. Damar is a player. If you go historically and watch his highlights, he throws his body everywhere. He plays with a reckless abandon. He does not care. He'll throw his body in any situation. And so now, like you're talking about, Wes, it's like, will he be reserved? Will he be a little, hit a little differently, basically? Will he lead more with his shoulder? Will he be less reckless? We're going to find out.
First game of it's going to be Jets and Bills, right? Is that the game that they kick off against?
You're talking about who kicks off? Jets?
The Jets, not kicking off the season.
You're talking about
their first game.
So let me double check that real quick.
It's going to be first play of the game. Aaron Rodgers throws a pick six to Damar Hamlin to the house. You're
saying that's how the conspiracies work?
That's the script.
That's the script. Yeah, okay. The script. Allegedly. Right? Allegedly.
Wes over there rolling his eyes already.
Yeah, Monday night. Jets Bills on September 11th.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's gonna be one. 9/11, the 21st anniversary.
Yeah.
No, 22nd.
But that's not the first game of the season. First game of the season is usually Thursday night, right?
Yeah. But this is the Buffalo. This is
the last game of the season.
This is Aaron Rodgers tie-in right here. Yeah, it's the last game of week 1.
Last game of the season.
Are they still doing 2 games Monday night? Or
no.
They got that out this year.
Thank God. Yeah, only 1 game. I think there's going to be 2 games other weeks. It just won't be the first week.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking. It's gonna be like Super America in New Jersey. That's all right. We lost him. We'll get him back here in a minute. James, let's see if we can get him back, and I'll go on real quick. Shout out. Let's give everybody a shout out real quick. Freight, appreciate you, sir. Andrew, new to the show. Appreciate you making comments. You may have been watching before, but we appreciate it. Shout out to S. Sanchez. Of course, everybody tuning in tonight. I miss the ladies. Where the ladies at? Mrs. Freight, Carla. I think we had some other ladies the previous week. We appreciate y'all too, as always. Folks, we'll be doing things a little bit different as we lead up. We got little kids going into, not little, they're not little anymore. They used to be. We got teenagers now going into middle school and high school, so we will probably take a little bit of a break going forward. Just to give y'all a quick schedule, we're looking at doing shows the 22nd and 21st, 22nd, and then we'll come back and we'll have another show the 29th. So just want to give y'all, next week we'll be off. We're going to it's back to school. We want to let the parents, have their time with the kids and see how the first day of school, second day of school went. Make sure nobody's getting in trouble, right? Make sure everybody's keeping their nose cleans out there. Also, shout out to John Washington. I don't know who that guy is. Wes, what's up, man? Appreciate you back in the mix. Some guy named John in the chat who I don't know who that dude is. We got you back, though, brother. I appreciate you tuning back in with us or getting back in with us. You all right, man? You look like looks like something happened.
Hey, you smelled your
I'm
own
good.
fart.
I don't want to say that.
Oh man, I'm good. I just got cut off.
We lost you.
For a
Yeah,
second.
the timer we got lost you on that one. But before we get out, go ahead.
Are we
Wes.
doing the 19th?
We are
Talking
doing.
about that.
I don't think we're gonna do it live the 19th, but we'll probably be on a call. We'll probably have a call, but I don't think it'll be recorded. I don't want to have to make James draft and run that. I think that's too much.
Did it
personally.
before?
You did do it before, yeah. Hey, Freight, why don't you look at your emails, bro? Why don't you look at your emails? Just saying. I don't think I want to make James do that again.
Yeah.
Plus, it's Aljamain Sterling versus Sean Sugar O'Malley, Asukad.
Huh?
But hey man,
was just
hey
asking.
Wes, tell your friends to answer their emails because we're still waiting for people to join the ESPN.
Okay.
Their emails went out. I'm just waiting for them to join.
Yeah. And
Make sure.
I'll tell them. If not, we'll find some other people.
So-
they don't.
Yeah. So if one of them already made their contribution, their buy-in. I don't want to say her name, but starts with an N. Let's put it like that. The one with an N already, but she hasn't joined. But she paid
Okay,
it.
I'll tell her.
Yeah, just tell her to look at her emails. We're taking people's money, apparently. I don't know. Wes is taking their money. That's what's happening.
She's fired up to win, I guess.
She is what did they used to say in the 90s? Bout it. Yeah. She's
Yeah,
bout
bad
it.
about it.
She bout it. That's cool. I'm grateful. It's
She's a Broncos fan.
It's cool to have some better looking people around than you two knuckleheads. Just saying. I know I'm not a prize either, but
You're blessed.
I am. Lord, believe me, I know. I appreciate it. Freight, check your email. All right, we're gonna get out of here. James, you want to tell anybody? You want to tell the people something before we get out?
I just take some time out to smell the roses every now and then. They don't smell like poo poo.
Wes.
Same old, man. Check on your people. Tell them that you love them, and just check on them, man, because you never know. Everybody love everybody.
I love you, Wes.
It's funny because he never checks on me.
Yes, he does. Whenever he sends stuff in the group chat, he's checking on you. You just don't say anything.
He checks on you doing this.
You do.
Checks
You
on
do
doing the show.
say. He does say, "I'm on his way," or "I'm on my way," or if he's running a little late by picking up a little bit of libation.
I'm a voyeur. I'm
I
just
checked on him doing the
sitting there
show. I go, hey,
watching.
what's up, JPR?
Hey, Jack, we're smelling the roses. All right. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Wes, James, couldn't do it without you guys. Thank y'all so much. As always, love yourselves, love your neighbor. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time. 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks. 21st. See you then. Happy back to school. Is it everybody?
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Well,
I'm not going back to school.
Most people.
For the children's.
Yeah.
Back to school. Don't watch this show. You don't want. No. Parents, don't let us watch the show. All right. See y'all later.